Good morning, New Zealand. I'm Melissa Barrett, your reporter for the 7am News, and this is BFS Studios. On this very day, 50 years ago, the Civil Rights March took place in Washington, D.C., an event which is a crucial turning point for equality and fighting against economic, social, and political discrimination of the blacks in America, especially those in the South. The Civil Rights March remains as one of the greatest demonstrations of the civil rights movement. I had the pleasure of talking to Adida Santana earlier this morning, who was one of the 200,000 people who marched from the Washington Monument to the Lincoln Memorial in 1963.
How much society has changed over the years in America among the people, and although war still prevails, the discrimination around blacks has definitely lessened, something which makes me proud to have been one of the people who protested during the civil rights movement.
It certainly must. How old were you when you participated in the march?
I remember it quite vividly, actually. I had just turned 10 and my nana was telling me about her friend who was participating in a march next Monday on August the 28th. She then continued to tell me about the treatment most people who were of a certain ethnicity were receiving, and it made my stomach drop a little in disgust. When my mother saw my face, she asked me if I wanted to join the march with her and told me that if I could take the day off school, I quickly accepted. The idea of getting out of school to go out of school on a school day was exciting, although also being able to help support the cause my mum spoke of felt good. A week later, on the morning of the march, my mother woke me up extra early and we caught the bus to the Washington Monument. By the time we got there to the monument about 10 a.m, there were already a lot of people gathered round, about 40,000.
Wow, a lot.
An hour later, and the numbers had doubled to at least 100,000. When the clock finally struck at 11:30 a.m, we began to march towards the Lincoln Memorial, which was a commemoration for the president who abolished slavery.
Amazing man he was. What an amazing experience. Were the protests, the march you did, violent?
Not at all. It was completely non-violent. Something which the incredible Martin Luther King definitely influenced.
Yes, what an extraordinary man he was indeed. So, who exactly turned up to the event and what were they trying to do?
Well, the main aim of the event was to present a list of needs of America's blacks for freedom and jobs and social and economic equality. The march was also to show the support of Americans for the Civil Rights Bill, which President John F. Kennedy had introduced. The leaders wanted the event to appeal to all Americans for support from the rich, from the poor, black and white, and from the South and the North.
They weren't exactly successful in their endeavours, were they?
Not exactly. After the event, there were a lot more awareness about the issue, and much people started to help out with the civil rights movement. But in the late 1960s, the movement lost its unity as violence and military emerged, meaning full economic and social equality had not been achieved.
That is a pity, but what the event did do was, as you said, offer more awareness of people in America.
Yes, after the movement and march took place, black status and confidence had grown by then various black activist groups had surfaced fighting for their own individual causes.
The march was evidently an important event in the civil rights movement.
Of course. It helped open many eyes to what was going on in the world and to make them see that it was wrong. Martin Luther King's speech was definitely a memorable part as well.
Yes, it was. I have a short clip of the original I Have a Dream speech, in fact. Thank you very much for sharing your story with me.
It was a pleasure.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream